Now, the market sentiment this week seemed to be on the positive side. Certainly, we saw the market close up by about 1.06% yesterday. Now, in the last 2 days, we've seen value up. What is the temperature like on the market today? Are we seeing it also sort of closing, investors sort of trading more excitedly today?
Yeah, basically, it is rather too early in the day to begin to, say categorically the direction of the markets. But the figures we are getting in as we speak seems to be very, very interesting. Glasgow Spink line appears to be taking the gainers lead on 90 cover at 23.90, as well as the Shaka Cement. And like I said again, we need to wait a little bit later to see how the market pumps up. But I think the figures we are seeing on the trading floor right now are looking a little bit good.
Well, let's talk specifically about Owando. I mean, that stock has not performed so well this week. We saw it start the week at about 14 naira 76 kobo, and it's consistently lost. Currently, we know it's at 13 naira, about 13 naira 10 kobo. What is behind this bad performance? What's your take on this, Mr. Ibrahim?
Yeah, Uche, you're quite right on that. I think the fact that Owando is on the downwards, slide, it's basically because of the market sentiment, that is driving it downward, and that is on the background of the fact that the oil subsidy probe seems to, be taking all the oil companies' stock, off guard. You would agree with me that, beside Owando that is on the downward trend, we have the likes of MRS, coming down, coming down, and the other banking, the other oil and gas sector stocks. So I think it's really not uncommon on the fact that Owando is coming down. It's just strictly market sentiment and emotion that is driving it down. Owando is still a very strong stock with strong fundamentals, and I think sooner or later it's going to bounce back to where it should be.
Well, also not performing so well. We saw top-tier banks dropping marginal points during yesterday's session. Now, we know Q2 results are just around the corner. What are some of the core stocks that we should look at, of course, in terms of strong fundamentals and, of course, capitalization? What are some of the core stocks when we talk about the top-tier banks?
Yeah, Uche, you're quite right there. There's so much sentiment and excitement, down the week. Don't forget the fact that only last couple of months we have the result, the quarterly result of First Bank, GTB, Zenith, as well as Access Bank, with very strong Q1 results. And I think the market, is going to ride on the fact that their Q2 result, which has been expected in the next 2 weeks thereabout, will be stronger than what we had in the Q1 result. I think there is alignment going on right now on those stocks, and I tell you quite frankly, Access Bank, GTB, First Bank, Zenith banks are actually stocks to look out for. Don't forget the fact also that in the last full year result of 2011, Zenith Bank paid about 95 kobo, thereabouts. First Bank came up from the 10 kobo dividend the previous 2010 to pay, I think, about a very remarkable 80 kobo dividend, with very strong Q1 showing. The same goes for Access Bank that paid 50 kobo, both interim and final for 2010. I think these stocks are actually incredibly wonderful stocks with a lot of prospect and potentials. And I think you cannot really go wrong if you put your money in those stocks.
What about our consumer goods stocks? I mean, because those stocks have shown quite a lot of resilience. Of course, let's focus, of course, on the food and beverage sector. We saw an index tracking that sector shows a 2.16% gain year to date. What are the hot stocks in that sector for you, Mr. Ibrahim?
Yeah, you're right there, Uche, as well. And don't forget the fact that the two key stock in the food and beverage is Cadbury as well as Nestle. And Nestle, with their 210 showing, was so remarkable. We, are mindful of the fact that they paid a total of about 12 naira dividend on the full year scale. Now, on the Q1 result of Nestle, Q1 2011, 12, we saw a very strong showing, in Nestle, moving up from, PAT of about 2.5 billion to about 6.1 billion PAT. That's by all standards a very remarkable result in the face of global meltdown all over the world, in Asia down to Europe and all that. A company like Nestle coming up those strong, very results. I think it's really something that we have to look out for. Don't forget the fact that too that Calgary, you know, it's been in the waterways for quite a while, you know, in view of the issues they had here and there. But I think they are bouncing stronger, you know, and I think by and large those two, you know, stocks are accounted largely for, you know, the movement in the index on that particular sector, you know, and of course we are aware of the fact that Nestle actually closed at 446, you know, only yesterday. I think that is a stock that will go places, really.
Now, Union Bank is another stock, I mean, I'd love to focus on. We saw volumes up yesterday. It traded actually about 4.3 billion shares. We saw the stock price up 4.9%. How is it faring today? Give us a picture. Are investors still running for this stock? Also, was it just one institutional investor we saw going for that stock yesterday, or did we see investors sort of moving towards that stock?
Yeah, I think Union Bank right now seems to be, you know, a toast of the banking stock. On the strength of the fact that we begin to have some institutional realignment, you know. Basically, what you saw yesterday was simply, you know, a change of guard from, you know, some chunk of holding in Asset Management Company of Nigeria to the core investors, you know, of Union Global Partners. You know, it's just a one-off, you know, exotic transactions that you get to see where, you know, transactions flow begin to tick towards where interest seems to be, you know, lying on, you know. So that's what you saw. But I think that by and large, as we go down the drain, with an outstanding share of over 13 billion in Union Bank, I think you know, that bank is a stock that should tickle investors, and I think that's why we're seeing this kind of realignment going on right now.
Well, were there any corporate actions on the NSE today? Have we seen any results released or any announcements coming out on the stock exchange floor today?
Yeah, we are still expectant about a couple of forecasts, the quarterly result and full year result. But as I speak, the market is still, you know, on, and we still have well over 2-3 hours more of trading to do. By and large, no result has come in as I speak, but we are expecting about results coming in shortly.